Hello dear students, how are you? This is Emmanuel Anthony and you are watching my YouTube channel English as a Second Language in Pakistan. This 27th lecture is about chapter number 6 of Goodbye Mr. Chips. This novel is part of Intermediate Part 2 English Language course. In this video lesson, we are going to study from page number 13, line number 8 to 19. As I read the text for you, I'll be explaining you the ideas shared in these lines. I'll also be telling you the synonyms in context. Are you ready? Let us start together. But most remarkable of all was the change she made in Chips. We will see that in this passage, the author is telling us the status of Mr. Chips after serving 25 years in this institution. We will come to know what is his status. What do people think about Mr. Chips? And we will also see what are the changings that Catherine brought in his personality. So the first sentence tells us that Catherine was able to change Mr. Chip's personality and his habits, his personality as a teacher. Till his marriage, he had been a dry and rather neutral sort of person. Neutral sort of person, he was a very common type of person. He had nothing special. I mean, nothing special as in his personality to attract, to inspire, to impress other people. Liked and thought well of by Brookfield in general. People thought of him to be a good teacher. People thought of him to be a good person in general at Brookfield, but not of the stuff that makes for great popularity. He was not much popular among the staff members and among his students, or that stirs great affection. He have not had a type of personality that could inspire children, that could attract their affection. Affection, it's a type of love. His students respected him and listened to him as a teacher, but they did not love him. They were not able to do it because they were not inspired by his teaching style, or maybe they were not inspired by his personality. So, he had been at Brookfield for over a quarter of a century. A century is made up of 100 years, and a quarter means at least 25 years. So he had served at Brookfield for at least 25 years, long enough to have established himself as a decent fellow and a hard worker. People thought him to be a decent fellow. People thought him to be a hard worker. These were the two traits they were acknowledged by the other people. But what was missing? We'll come to know now. But just too long for anyone to believe him capable of ever being much more. He was not thought to be more than that. People thought that he was a hard-working teacher. People thought that he was a decent fellow. But that was not enough to have great effect on the society, or to be able to inspire the students for a greater period of time. A teacher needs something more. And what was that more? We'll come to know here. He was able to teach, but he was not able to inspire. He was not able to have affection. He had in fact already begun to sing. Now that is a time, we'll read here that most of the teachers, when they have gone through the syllabus and the chapters for a long period of time, they mechanically teach. They are not able to add something new. They keep on teaching the same stuff, and in this way, students are not much inspired. He had, in fact, already begun to sink into the creeping dry rot of pedagogy. Pedagogy means teaching or the art of teaching. Pedagogy is also a profession. So, what was the profession of Mr. Chips? His profession was pedagogy. So, here the author is telling us that after teaching 25 years at Brookfield, his teaching had become so mechanical, so automatic, so boring that it was no more interesting for students and for the other people. That is the worst and ultimate pitfall. Pitfall, it means a pit where someone can fall. Ultimate, final. Ultimate pitfall for the profession. It means that in every teacher's professional life, there comes a time, after a few years, there comes a time when his teaching becomes mechanical, automatic. He has gone through the chapters so well that he sometimes decides to go to the classroom and teach without any preparation, thinking that he knows everything already and he does not need to learn anything more. So Mr. Chip's teaching is also an ultimate pitfall. Giving the same lesson years after years had formed a groove. Groove, a strong habit into which the other affairs of his life adjusted themselves with insidious ease. Insidious, tricky. Insidious, tricky. So, in a professional life, almost every teacher comes to a time after teaching a few years when his teaching becomes mechanical and he needs to learn, he needs to add new things, he needs to improve his qualifications to learn new things for the students, and he worked well. There is no doubt that he worked well, and we have already studied here that he was a hard-working teacher. He was conscientious, hard-working. He was a fixture that gave service, satisfaction, confidence, everything except inspiration. So he had a good personality with many good traits, like he was able to serve. He was full of passion to serve. He used to satisfy his staff and students. He was confident as a teacher. What he missed was he have not had such characteristics or personality. He was not able to inspire his students. That is the greatest trait a teacher can gain in his professional life, in his pedagogical career. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. We'll read more of this chapter in the next lesson. See you next time. Have a very nice time.